Welcome to the Rugged Revival podcast, back again, like the Renegade Master, some would say. We're not joined by anybody today because this is another little Brucey bonus, a little Brucey bonus. I am joined though by TJ the DJ, or Costa del Tel, as we said in this couple of other episodes. TJ, nice to see you. We're doing a little bonus episode this time. For Christmas. Is it the last one before Christmas?
I don't know. I'd like to think there'd be more over this festive period, but
yeah, I think everybody's had enough.
Yeah, if we're being honest, I think everyone's fed up listening to us over the last few months.
To the back teeth of it. Anyway, welcome to the Rugged Revival podcast. I am one of your hosts, Rugged Ronnie. Nice to see you and hear you and, be there for all of you again. So what a year so far. I know it's a little bonus episode, but what a year so far our little TJ has had. Just to round off what we've done so far, you've had Jack Browning, Anna Scott, Josh Mitchum. Then we had, or in between that, you introduced me, because I had COVID for the 118th time. Then we had a little Brucey bonus, again, number one Brucey bonus. Then we had Adam Hood. And then we had Jared Morris. Then you had Ricky Forbes. Then you had Brennan Edwards. And then you had Steel Saddle. I mean, it's madness.
I went on a bit of a podcast spree, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
Well,
all on your own.
We got a bit carried away. But no, it's been good. We've only been doing this since October, and I think to have, I didn't count how many that was, probably 10, let's say 10. 10 all incredible guests. Really enjoyed speaking to all of them. We touched upon it on the first bonus episode. But they were all, really interesting people to speak to from all walks of life, different backgrounds, different stages of their career. And it was great to speak to more kind of recent guests. We had Ricky on, Ricky Forbes, who's not from a country background, but from a rugged background, shall we say. And he's somebody that I was watching his Netflix series a few years ago. And I thought, let's message Ricky and see if he'll talk tornadoes with me and we'll geek out for a bit. And he did, I was really grateful that he replied and came on the show. And, I thought it was a really interesting episode. If you're interested in wind, just like I am, then I speak a lot of wind. But I thought it was a good episode anyway. And then the follow-ups, Jared, I've got to give a shout out, in fact. That's probably a good time to shout out to Steve Talbot, who is part of the Texas to Tennessee podcast amongst others, but what a awesome guy he is. He's been supporting us in the background and with the show, and in fact he was the one that arranged for Jared Morris to come on, and I won't say who else is coming on in the new year because that's part of the conversation we'll have, but he's been really kind of instrumental in supporting us in that way. We don't expect help from anyone. And I didn't think we'd get it, to be quite honest, especially when we looked like this. I thought I looked pretty good, to be fair, but I don't know what.
I'm going for the awesome hats this Christmas. I'm going for the awesome hats. Why not?
Well, this does say ho 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 on here, but it's kind of stuck under my bubble, so it just says ho.
Didn't you say it lit up?
Oh, it does, yeah. It's stuck on the side of my head. Yeah, I can't find a button, but it does light up. Yeah. Anyway, people are getting bored already. So I thought it'd be good to shout out Steve and the guys at Texas to Tennessee for Jared coming on, amongst others. Brennan Edwards was awesome in coming on too. Really interesting talking to that guy. And like we keep saying, anyone that comes on the show, I'm genuinely listening to and a huge fan of. So to get Brennan on with all of the cool stuff that he's been doing over the last year, and the stuff that he's going to be doing in 2025. I really enjoyed having him on. And then Steel Saddle, who was something completely different, speaking to Ben and Mac from Canada. and they've got a really cool band as well. So if anyone's listened to Steel Saddle, it just sounds something completely different. It sounds like they're from the 70s and this kind of old school soul, and
Yeah.
it's really good stuff. So, and then we were supposed to have Eli Kane on this week, but it's just so close to Christmas that he was struggling, I was struggling, so we've agreed to reconvene in January. So really keen to get Eli on because, yeah, again, just another awesome artist, and people should be listening to him. So it'd be great to get him on, and we might have something special planned for that particular show. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different guests that you've already got booked in. I know that we share a calendar of everybody that's going up, and everybody that we want to keep talking to and want to keep interested into what we're doing and pushing it out. But I think there's so many goals that you've already reached this year. So many goals that I've reached with you, and thank you for that. I hate to say it, but I've got to thank you for it. But it really has just taken off. Like it's just exploded. The amount of people that are so interested in listening to you and listening to all the artists that are coming on and talking about it. And you've had some massive big hitters coming on and talking about their career, talking about not just their career but their personal lives as well. I didn't ever think that listening to the podcast when you first started it, they'd be talking about their personal lives and where they've come from and growing up. And I just, I can't thank them enough for also giving the insight about where they've come from and, what it took for them to get where they are now. So fair play to you. And
it's a struggle. Thank you. I know how hard it was for you to thank and, appreciate me. So
yeah,
well done you.
yeah.
But no, like you say, heavy hitters coming on and talking about their background. And, Adam Hood was one of my favourites coming on because I'm just a big fanboy of Adam's, and I probably pester him too much on social media. But he's awesome. Everyone loves Adam, and no one's got a bad word to say about the guy. He opened up about what he's doing, his background, the struggles that he's had, and and he was gracious enough to do a couple of tracks at the end. Just for everyone's kind of benefit, we've stopped doing that until we figure out a different format, because it's just not doing the artist justice trying to do this over Teams, and it's difficult for us, obviously based in the UK, to kind of do remote interviews and to do remote live music. So we're going to think of a different format for that going forwards into next year. So yeah, keep a tab on that.
And with that, we've got so many. We were just talking about it earlier. Actually, we were saying what we want to go to next year. The goals for that, which I'll come on to in a bit anyway. But using different platforms and really getting it out there to talk about. We've had so much interest over the usual sort of platforms, but let's expand it to something else in 2025. And I think I can say one of them now. I'm sure you won't mind. But we had a little trial of TikTok Live earlier where then that went horribly wrong.
It didn't go very well,
but
did it?
yeah, it was just me pushing lots of different buttons and
With that
no
hat
idea
on.
what I'm doing with the hat on. Yeah, and trying to apologise to people that started viewing it. I think there was about 50 odd viewers that were just sitting there waiting as if to say, what are you doing?
Go on then.
Get on with it. And I couldn't invite you. It was just me sitting there with a ridiculous hat on. But anyway, so I was going to say to you, starting off the Rugged Revival as a whole, you started it off a mere 50 years ago at the age of 17. Did you think it was going the way you see it now? Do you think it was going to take a different format? What did you want it to do? What was the original thought process behind it?
Oh, that's a good question. I always knew I'd be incredibly successful, to be fair. No, I do things on a whim. Well, a calculated whim. I always wanted to do something like this, or discover somebody that was doing it, and there was kind of a gap where I couldn't find it. So I thought, well, I'm going to do it myself. And I keep telling people this story, but yeah, I told the wife to be that, you know what, I'm going to start a podcast. She laughed at me for probably a day or two, and then I thought, well, let's give me the drive I need to to actually go through it. And then I started telling more people. I thought, oh shit, I need to actually do this. Then I can't I can't back down now. So I've it's almost like a dare. But no, I wanted to do it. It was trying to find the best format, the best way to deliver quality interviews, and more laid back stuff as well. So we deep dive sometimes into people's backgrounds, and particularly if they're not as well known as some of the bigger artists. And I think it's interesting to know, how they started and where, how they got to be where they are. And I think there's always a good story to tell. So that's how I like to do the format of the interviews, and we'll get better as we go. I appreciate that. We're beginners at doing it, and there's lessons to be learned, and we could probably waffle on like we are now, for far too long. But I think every time I speak to the guests afterwards, just to see how it's gone and whether they're just being polite or not, I think they've really enjoyed coming on. And in fact, I know they have, because I've messaged afterwards and even months down the line to say, it was great. I appreciate coming on, and maybe we can catch up again next year. So that's I think in terms of going forward for the podcast, I think we continue that trend, because people seem to like it. We're getting a fair amount of views on YouTube, but also on Spotify, and it's just getting better at what we do, bigger and better for next year. That is the plan anyway. So watch this space. And we've already got, I think January's already booked out completely for guests. So it's not like they've heard us and thought, yeah, we ain't coming on this trash. So
I think I'll be honest, I think you do it a disservice. I think that we all laugh, joke about it, saying that we're beginners, and I certainly am a beginner, but for yourself, you've learned so much. You do all the editing yourself. You do all the video captions, you do all the advertising yourself, and that's, as well as holding down a full-time job, and I know a lot of artists do that, they work full-time and do it as a bit of an extra because they want to make something of themselves. But you really have pushed the boundaries in what you can do with the Rugged Revival, and there is so many more exciting times ahead. Hopefully I'll be able to, you might not think it's a good idea, but hopefully I'll be able to join you on a lot more podcasts. Hopefully I won't have COVID for the 3000th time going forward, and I can join you onto a lot, because I was so gutted that I couldn't join you on some of the interviews that you're doing, because they really are, they were great, they were fantastic. And listening to them, when I travel into work, it takes me about an hour and a half listening to the podcasts. When I'm coming into work, it just puts a smile on my face and a spring in my step. And listening to some of the plans that even with them you've got, and listening to it going forward, it's great. I'd love to be able to do a sort of revisit in the next year, maybe next Christmas or whatever, you revisit with some of the artists that we've had on, a bit like do you remember the Gordon Ramsay's program, Kitchen Nightmares.
Kitchen Nightmares. That's the only one I know.
And they revisit it, and then they've always shut after a year. They've always shut. But hopefully that wasn't.
Where's this going?
Yeah, hopefully that isn't going to go to the artist. But just revisiting it, saying, where have you gone? Where have you got to? What's next in their line? It would be great to see all of them again, and to actually join you on that. So,
and we could do like a Band-Aid thing at the end of next year, couldn't we? So everyone that's been on the show, we can pick a part to sing. I think that'll be nobody's.
Well, we could do another Grand Old Revival #2, or Grand Old Revival Revisited. But there we go. There's something again. One of them. One of the comments you made before several times is a pipe dream. But it will come true. All dreams come true.
Dreams do come true, and I'm still adamant that is going to happen, whether it's next year or the year after or whenever. We've had a lot of interest. So all the people that I speak to from not just the people who've been on the podcast, but people I speak to on socials, a lot of the bands, a lot of the artists, they know it's a kind of jokey way of saying it, about the Grand Old Revival, but they're like, yeah, I'm in. I'd love to do that. I'd love to come over to the UK. I'd love to play. I love the sound of that. And I think, well, let's make it happen. So if there's any I suppose this is a segue now for me to put on my professional voice to say if there's any any people, whether you own a venue owner, or just somebody that's a fan of the scene and wants to act as a sponsor, maybe that you're a fan of the indie scene, and particularly with trying to help people from all over the globe come to the UK, and we could pull on a good old knees up. Get in touch with us, because I think it takes kind of a bit of a community to get these things going sometimes. And, I've been a sucker for trying to do everything on my own. And sometimes you just either don't have the resources, the skills, the knowledge, the contacts, whatever it might be. So this isn't a shameless kind of plug or whatever. Well, it is, but it's. But yeah, if anyone is interested, knows what you're doing, would like to get involved and like to kind of set something up, which I think would be a one in a lifetime thing. I think let's do it. You've got our DM. Give us a message and we'll get back to you. So yeah, I think it's not going to be a pipe dream any longer. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, and I think it's always a sore subject when we've spoken about it before, but we've laughed and joked on some of the other podcasts around sponsors. I think it's a nice way to sort of address the sponsor fact or sponsorship fact that this all happens because of yourself. Sometimes I put a bit of effort into it if I know what I'm doing. I mean, we've started doing the parody stuff, which we'll talk about later, which is just a bit of a laugh, to build up the followers for us to be able to continue it, and for us to be able to really build on the platform that we've already got so far. We need people to follow it. We need people to share it, and we need people to advertise it. But also, looking at the sponsors, I know you wanted to talk about that as one of the subjects, but let's get the sponsors going. These artists come from very tough background of trying to build themselves up to come over to the UK, to travel Europe, to come over to do specific shows or to put on specific events. They need your help. This is growing massively in the UK and Europe, country music as a whole. But not just that, like you were saying, you've interviewed people that aren't from a country music background, but want to get involved and want to assist going forward. So yeah, over to you. I mean, this is your point of view about sponsors.
Yeah, definitely. It's like I said, it's not coming from a begging bowl, but these guys have got expenses to. It's always a begging bowl, but not for us per se. It is for the artists, because there's flights, there's accommodation, there's all manner of expenses, and they're just probably not going to make anything out of doing the shows. But I think as an initial thing, let's try and drum up some interest. So anyone listening out there would love to get involved. Again, I think it's going to be an amazing opportunity. Just drop us a DM. So yeah, there you go. I'll stop begging now. We'll move on to other subjects.
Is that a hint?
Subtle one, yeah.
Right. So, out of going forward for 2025, depends if we're going to do another Brucey bonus, really. But going forward for 2025. Give us your main 3 goals for the Rugged Revival.
Okay.
Actually,
go on.
Before that, let's open a whiskey, because we haven't done that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting a bit bored of this cider now. So let's go for a whiskey. I do have a confession to make. So you bought this nice pack of 3 Redbreasts. I've only got 1 left. So,
greedy.
We'll have to go
just
for
greedy.
15. Do you know why? I got annoyed with one of the, with myself. Yeah, it was with myself. Yeah, with one of the podcasts I was doing, because I thought I was really crap on it, and I got a bit fed up at the end, and thought, no, I'm going to open one of those little bottles of whiskey and drown my sorrows. Because I think sometimes when you're doing this, you think you're your harshest critic, and you just think I was stuttering words. It would have been a long day. I'd have a tough time with work and a kid. This is me making excuses now. But yeah, I didn't think it went particularly well, and I drowned my sorrows. So got 1 left.
You're absolutely right. And I think, everybody puts their heart into it, and they've really, put their heart in their sleeve. when they've been talking to us about their personal, personal lives going forward and what they've been doing and how that's affected them. But actually, if we're talking about between us, sometimes I look back because obviously you're now a seasoned professional, where you said to me, "You'll never work in this industry again. You'll never work in this industry again." Yeah, I don't forget the conversations. Um, you'll never work in this industry again if you go sick.
Yeah.
Um,
Sort it
Again,
out.
sick note. But for me, it was coming on to do something that was completely out of my comfort zone. I think work is a different subject where I'm more than happy to stand up in front of 20, 30, 100, 200 people and talk about a subject that I know. There's a subject that I know here that I like talking. It's a hobby. It's great to be involved in it, but you always get that doubt that you're in the back of the head, and you think, oh, are people going to like what they're seeing? Are people going to get? Are people going to be interested in the stuff that we're talking about now because it's been a change? You've got, excuse me, you've got two hosts that are now doing the Rugger Revival. Dipping in and out. Is that the sort of format people like? But you never know. And if you don't try, again,
Yeah.
you'll never know.
It's harder than it looks, if I'm an introvert, so it's really hard for me to stand up and talk in front of people. I like this format because when I'm talking
Yeah,
to the artists, it's normally on one, or if there's more of them, obviously 2-on-1, perhaps like we did with Still Saddle. But even then, you're multitasking. You're trying to think of the questions. You're trying to listen intently to what they're saying, trying to make it interesting, trying to work the platform that we're on. And yeah, sometimes I just get a bit flustered and think, oh shit, what did they say? What have I said? What was my next question? So that's what I said. I think the more that we do, the more we'll become, better at doing it, and
you'll
not be
become
so
an
nervous.
expert, and then I'll become a seasoned professional.
Exactly.
Then
That
I
is
get to
the
go. You'll never work in this industry again.
you get to say to somebody else.
One of our new apprentices. Anyway, on the subject of whiskey that we bypassed, what one have you just opened up?
The Redbreast 15 single pot still.
Oh,
It's very nice. I like these Redbreasts. I wasn't particularly familiar with Irish whiskies before, but seeing as you're a Irishman,
absolutely.
just thought
I'm proud of it.
proud
Um,
of it. Yeah.
I'm going to, because you were greedy last time, I'm going to have the 12-year run and then I'm going to let you drink the 15. But I might even treat myself to the 15 afterwards. So who knows?
You treat yourself.
I will. I will. Now, I've gone with a bit of whiskey on the rocks.
Oh, I can't
And
do that.
actually, I feel like a bit of a heathen, actually, because I've just put Redbreast into a Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey
Oh, that's disgusting.
glass. That's outrageous.
I don't even think this is a whiskey glass. I think it's a tumbler of some kind. Yeah, I'm sure this is really interesting for people to listen
Anyway,
to.
it's really good.
It's
That's really
nice
good.
though. Yeah, this
It
is the
is.
world's worst
It's a
whiskey review show if you're
it's a
dying.
it's a bonus, Brucey bonus.
Yeah,
We talk
yeah.
about things like that, like we did last time. Anyway, so thank you for sharing that with all of us, TJ. Much appreciated. Heart on your sleeve.
You're welcome.
Um, so over to you, really. What's your we were going to talk about the three goals for next year.
Oh, that's right.
So
Yeah,
tell us what your main goals are, top three for next year for the Rugged Revival.
top three. So we already talked about the grand old revival. Um, I think that will be amazing and something that is going to remain on my list of things to do for next year, or to even, explore and get everything in place so that when we do press the button, we know what we're doing. We've got the contacts in place. We have a venue, which is, obviously the main thing, and we can sort the logistics out. So I think that will be good. Remain as a kind of priority for next year. Secondly, I think it'd be good to expand, like you mentioned earlier, into other platforms. So, I think TikTok is going to be an interesting one, although we kind of bodged it earlier. Well,
You
you did.
said I like it. We bodged it, the
I say
royal we.
you
Um,
bodged.
yeah, I did. I bodged it. But anyway, yeah, go on.
So yeah, I think that's an interesting platform because it's not TikTok. I haven't really explored that much. I've been sharing some more videos over on that platform. So if you're following us over there, you can see that we're doing a similar thing like we're doing on Instagram. So, of all the independent artists and the people that we love, we're putting out their material still and trying to get as many views, likes, etc. And again, it's great to kind of share that material. But then I noticed a lot of people were going live, and this is where we were like really late to the party because people are like, well, you didn't even know about TikTok lives, you
Yeah.
mug. You mean? So, I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm nearly 40, so I'm going to be a late to the party with a few things. But I think TikTok live was cool because, again, a shout out to Talbo. Um, I sat on one of just viewing one of his shows and I loved it. He was playing music. He had a few mates on. They were talking about the music, coming up with some facts, and I thought, what, I would love to do a rugged revival version of that
Yeah.
with the people that we're listening to. And the annoying thing is having a music-based podcast like we do, you can't play any bloody music because of
No.
the royalty and all that nonsense. So I think you can do that over in TikTok, and it's one of the few spaces that we can kind of expand on that, have a laugh, and then have some live interaction with some mates, some followers, and people that want to get involved. So again, the community aspect, I think that brings it together, perhaps a little bit more in the group sometimes because it's very difficult for everyone to engage in that way. So it's just another way to kind of expand what we're doing. So yeah, if anyone knows what they're doing with TikTok and they want to teach a couple of old buggers, then get in touch.
I keep telling you, talk for yourself. I'm not old.
Well, there you go.
Much.
So that's number two. Number three, I did buy a fancy camera.
Oh.
Oh no, yeah, sounds a
Oh.
bit seedy, doesn't it? And my plan was I love all of these kind of field recordings that the likes of who am I talking about now? There's one called it escapes me now. Basically, there's some great cinematic style recordings of artists, and we can go into lovely places where there's lakes, rivers, into the woods with my camera we go. I know.
Now you sounded seedy.
So if you get a DM from me saying fancy come up the woods with me and I'll record it, that's what I'm talking about. I'm probably not explaining it very well. So I would like to do the rugged revival sessions at some point once I learn how to use the camera and to get the best quality sound going as well, because I think that's really nice, and perhaps more of a focus on UK artists and anyone visiting the UK as well, to kind of do that, because I don't think there's a lot happening in the UK on that front, and we've got some great artists here. We probably should speak to more of them. And I think that would be a great way to showcase their music and artistry in a beautiful cinematic way, shall we say? That's the plan. Is that free? I can't remember. Did I say three things or
Yeah.
you don't know, do you? Could have said anything then.
There was a lot in there.
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right. And I think it will also give the artists a bit of an opportunity to utilize your skills on your camera, to get some shots, in the UK when they're coming over, to get some, when you're talking about walking around the forest, getting some decent shots that they can use, for their own promotions and whatever you. So, there's a different,
Everyone's a
lens on
winner.
that.
And then I think you got my drunken messages the other night about my plan to do.
You'll
Oh
have
yeah,
to
let's
narrow
do
it down.
Yeah, which one was that? The in-person interviews that we want to do.
Yeah.
So I won't name any names. I don't think it's fair. But yeah, we're hoping to meet with an artist from the US in February when they come over to play next year in the UK. And I thought it'd be cool to kind of use the camera in that way as well. So we're not just sitting remotely in a studio. We're actually going out to places to see them, and we can shoot some pool or throw some darts or I don't know, other stuff I thought would be cool and probably
Yeah.
won't be. But it's interesting for them as well. It's more fun, isn't it? Because I think when you just sat down doing an interview, it's good. don't get me wrong, but would you like to have a drink and shoot some pool and talk while we're doing it? I think that'd be good.
Absolutely right. Yeah, and it's taken a different angle on it as well. It's
Literally.
yeah, yeah. I managed to get two camera pieces in there, one about a different lens, and then the other one being a different angle. Um, so yeah, I mean, it'll be exciting to do that because I think it will add to that atmosphere, or add to that instead of just the. It's quite. I find it quite sterile when you're sitting down, on this on a platform. You can't really interact with the artist that much, if you know what I mean. It's not. It's better to be face to face, isn't it? It's like we've all done this COVID Teams meetings and what have you, but it's good to interact with them face to face.
But thanks to COVID, this is kind of encouraged. I mean, this probably wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for that, in a way, in a weird way,
Yeah,
because it kind of pushed people to use it. I think it would eventually have happened, but it's happened sooner because of it. But no, like you say, I think when we're doing these podcasts, sometimes it's hard to read when somebody's thinking and wanting to say something else, and then you accidentally jump in because it's hard to kind of tell, and then you're talking over them. So I try not to do that, and then I hold back, and perhaps there's a longer pause because I'm waiting, and I've actually finished what they're saying. So yeah, it's. I think it'd be easier in person, like you say, less sterile and more fun. Let's make it fun. That's the word for next year. Fun.
fun. the rugged revival. Fun.
Fun.
Um, I think from what you're just saying about, I noticed that I do it quite a bit when we're interviewing. Obviously, you're taking some of the questions. I'm doing some of the questions myself, and it's always that pause when you get the when you're going to go and ask a question. then everybody stops, and you think, "Oh no, it was just me breathing," or was it me to ask a question? Or so it's trying to get that, but that doing the face to face stuff would be incredible, and what an experience that would be as well. To meet them, to see what they're really like, and meet them before as well. Um, but yeah, so no, thank you.
And
And
I could wear shirts like this as well because it's fun.
no,
No, maybe not. Yeah, I did think, like I said earlier, I look like John Candy from Brewster's Millions, but it's a good shirt. Good shirt from Timu, £6,
£6,
worth every penny.
another push there, is it? Um, just going back to your one of your goals about TikTok, so using different platforms. I think, for me, the biggest thing from TikTok is, and I've watched, learning and watching from different live broadcasts that are going on. Interesting, but looking at TikTok and where the questions come in as well. So obviously, we've got our own set questions. We like to try and explore as much as we can with the artists or artists. We've obviously we had the first band on, Still Saddle, um, back a couple of weeks ago, which was great. But it's just our questions. It's an opportunity for people that are watching, for example, the TikTok live, for people to put questions in the chat, so we can ask it there and then. And I think that gives us another sort of extension of what we want to know from the artist, because you get a little bit, not so much stuck in your ways, but I've got my own way of questioning. You've got your own way, but the people that are listening, maybe they're thinking, "Oh, I want to know more about that, or I want to know, a bit more development on that question, or whatever you." So yeah, it would be. I think that would be such a
Yeah,
different way of
it'll
doing it
be
as well.
the Wild West, I think. That'll be because
Yeah,
I've watched some and it's been funny, and I think there's a lot of trolls out there as well that just join the lives just to piss you off a little bit. But
yeah,
bring it on. I'm happy for that.
yeah, yeah,
To all the trolls out there, come and join our live
yeah,
sessions
exactly.
when we're doing it. We'll entertain you for a bit.
It'll be fastest finger first to block, block, block. I think I said it when we were doing the interview with Adam Hood. I said you can just block them, and I was more talking about you, just blocking you. But there we go. So yeah,
He
it'll
hasn't.
be it'll be an interesting platform. I know. I get sensitive about it. Anyway, so we've talked about your three goals. I'm so excited about the year going forward. Um, so much more access to lots of different things, but especially with the level of followers that the Rugged Revival is now getting, it opens more doors. But there are several more doors to open once you get to that thousand followers, that thousand mark. Anything you want to say on that, Terry?
What, for TikTok, you mean, or in
Anything,
general?
just just in general.
Yeah, it's difficult. We were talking to Adam about it, and he should have a much bigger following than he has. At the end of the day, I agree. I've got the same kind of mindset. Is that I'm not about collecting people. It's about building a community of engaged people and people that are interested in what we're doing and putting out there, and vice versa. So, yeah, it opens doors, but I don't want to have millions of followers that just aren't engaged. I'm talking like I'm going to get millions of followers. You know, it's not going to happen. But so yeah, I think it's just slow and steady. That's how it's always been. I'm not interested in kind of faking followers or doing clickbait stuff. It's just not our ethos of the Rugged Revival. So we'll continue with the Instagram. Still love that. Just interesting, like say, branching out to TikTok in that madness. It's just
I think I've
hilarious.
just had a, I think I've just had a bit of a failure, a technical failure.
Technical failure.
Yes. Right, sorry about that. That was my technical fade out. I had a bit of a technical failure on there, so I do apologise. But we're back with TJ talking about the artists and what we're going forward. It was about opening doors. I remember saying that, and then I faded out, and there's probably a ridiculous picture of me somewhere. So over to you, TJ.
Yeah, I'll use that picture of you, as I always do. But no, I think we were talking about, like I say, Instagram being a great platform. Met some great people on there and continue to do so. But we'll branch out to the likes of TikTok, the Wild West, as I see it at the minute, because it's just a mental platform with just a lot of people on there.
Yes.
Some strange people, and the lives do tickle me. I could just scroll through the lives. Now I've found it and understand sort of what it is. I'll jump in on the odd live and I'll say hello, and then I'll leave. Unless you're really good, like Talbot, and then I'll stick around, listen to your music, have a chat, and it's awesome. So yeah, I'd like to do that once we figure out how to do it. We do need more followers, though. Apparently, you need 1,000 or so to
Yeah.
kind of go live properly. We've kind of got studio access just from what we're doing at the minute, being kind of creators. But I'd love to be able to use it properly. So yeah, if you're over on TikTok, you're not following us, give us a follow, and we can set it up and have those kind of live discussions and maybe even live podcasts with the artists if they're up for it, just to do something a little bit different and a little bit more unscripted, shall we say, and with fans dialing in to ask questions and
Dialing in.
dialing
You can
in
tell. You
via
can
them
tell we're.
modems.
You can tell we're old. Dialing in and
Dialing in.
logging on. Anyway,
What's the new word for it?
I mean, I I started looking at, and unfortunately, it does come back to, we've mentioned it several times, or I've mentioned it several times about followers and what have you. And, it's just being able to do them short little videos, and we'll come on to the parodies in a minute, because I know that obviously we were talking about that the other day, and we're a little bit nervous doing them for some reason. But I think they're quite funny, and, it's not to take the mickey, it's not to take the piss out of anybody. It was just trying to have a bit of a laugh and what goes through our heads at that at that time, doing that. But I mean, just being able to do what we want to do, getting access to some of the platforms, getting access to some of the people. For example, I'm just looking at my Instagram. What a sad little life, Jane. But I was just looking at my Instagram. I've got 76 followers, which has gone up from
Oh,
26. So 76 now. If I had a button, it'd go, wow, 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 that sort of thing. But anyway, so 76 followers. I'm following 108. So I'm following all the people that we've spoken to, and I'm following all the people that are potential artists coming up for the interviews and trying to get them involved. But then TikTok, I mean, I know we've said it quite a few times, but the TikTok platform, for example, just going on live, no idea what I was doing, just went live, and we had 50 people viewing it who were just sitting there twiddling their thumbs, thinking, "What is this moron doing with a ridiculous hat on?" So, for us to be able to do that stuff, to be able to reach more people, excuse me, it does need to be, more and more followers.
It does, yeah. And
You've
yeah, I
got
just
thousands, haven't you?
I've got thousands, me.
Thousands,
Funny.
you.
In fact, can you unfollow me because I've just got too many? Yeah, don't need it. No, please don't. I need you. Um, but no, I'd love to do more on that. Yeah, it'd just be nice to play some music. I think that's the main thing.
That'll
Just to
be
play music because I don't think you can do it on Instagram that I know of.
no, not. I've tried to, and also if you go onto my page, I've got Alan Jackson. On as you go onto my page, onto my landing page, or whatever you want to call it, old quote again. But being able to play that, because there's some artists. I mean, for example, I've been asked quite a few times now. I've mentioned my dad playing in Irish bands, and he used to play in a band called the Islanders, many moons ago, well before I was born. And there's people that are saying, well, where can we reach him? Where can we listen to him? Or where can we listen to them? Sorry, the Islanders. And you sent the link from YouTube onto there. I'd love to be able to do that. I'd love to be able to play people the music that I'm talking about, that I'm thinking about, that I'm trying to explain, because it's a unique sound for that
It's
stuff.
context, isn't it? I think
Yeah,
it's difficult because we talk a lot about music when we're obviously doing the podcast with the artist. We're talking about the latest track or one of their favorite
yeah,
tracks or something that they listen to growing up. And I'd love to just be able to play 30 seconds of it. I'm not asking
yeah,
for a lot, but in context and for people that might not have heard that music before, and it brings it kind of together. So I think there's an opportunity to be had there. Yeah, and
yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Absolutely. Rugged Revival fun.
Fun.
But I mean, we were very privileged to, when Adam Hood come on, when he done that live. I say live performance, it was live to us, but obviously not live to people that were listening or whatever you. But that was incredible, listening to something that he reproduced straight away there, and listening to one of the songs that meant a lot to me. I got very emotional at the time. But being able to do that, just to play a couple of minutes or a minute or whatever you on that live broadcast, it will be incredible. And upcoming songs that are there, or I'd like to do a bit of a hint of the next artist that is coming up. If someone can guess what the artist is, can someone guess from the music, playing a 20-second, 30-second piece of, or 20-second, 30-second set of that, and just give a little hints. I think it'll be good. I'm really excited about it, and hopefully I'll be with you to take the Rugged Revival forward.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds good. I'm up for that. So yeah, I think for next year we've got a ton of stuff planned, and yeah, long may that continue, as we keep saying. So get involved, people. Hit us up and speak to us, DM us, whatever. But yeah, come and get involved. You'll be more than welcome.
Yeah. So just moving on to a bit of personal life for you. You've got a big event coming up next year.
What's that?
You didn't just say that. You're getting married. Do you remember?
Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Yeah, I'm reminded every day as we
Every
get
5 minutes.
closer. Yeah, every 5 minutes. Yeah, and my bank balance is getting reminded every 5 minutes as well. So yeah, thank you for bringing it up. Yeah, in May next year. So I'm not only turning 40 in Jan, but we're getting married. Not me and you, but me and my wife to be.
You'd be lucky. You get all the wonderful hats.
I know, yeah. How cool will that be? So we are looking for a wedding singer, band, artist to play. So yeah, if you wanna
I'm
come
pretty
do that,
mean on karaoke. I'm pretty mean on karaoke.
I'm pretty awful at karaoke. I want to buy a karaoke machine. Going off on a tangent because I
Mm.
want to butcher as many songs as I can while I'm drunk over
Yeah.
the Christmas period. Yeah.
I'm pretty much like Elvis Presley after about 10 Guinness. So
The
I
fat
can
version.
come and sing. Yeah, the fat version. Yeah,
The drunk
I
fat
can.
version.
Yeah, drunk trap fat version of Elvis Presley. I could sing "The Wonder of You" if you like your first dance.
I like a bit of that. The wonder of.
Um,
I'll see if
anyway,
Suzanne's up for that. Yeah, probably not.
I'm sure she will be. Yeah, I'm sure she'll be up for a laugh. Um, but no, I mean another massive event. You're turning 40 uh, in January. Can't forget
Yes.
that. Send you a present. And then yeah, then you get married in May. So obviously we've got to do things either side of it. We might even be able to, if we're up to that place then by May, do some live broadcast from the wedding. I don't know how well I'm going to be
A
after that,
TikTok
but
live from the wedding.
yeah. Yeah.
A start and end version of
Yeah.
how the day's gone. Yeah, that might be good. We can do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be quite funny, quite entertaining. And then
We might get banned from TikTok within the first
probably, yeah.
yeah, first
Probably.
year.
But anyway, over to you, really. I know you've had a mental year so far. It's been incredible. Anything that you want to bring up, anything you want to
I think
highlights. Have we done highlights? We've
highlights.
done highlights already in the last Brucey bonus
Yeah.
track. But so far you've done so many different interviews. What are the highlights so far?
I think obviously kicking things off with Jack. I mentioned that on the last one. I think Adam was just the highlight because I didn't think anyone of Adam's kind of stature would want to talk to us or, would agree to come on the show. So to not only speak to someone that we're huge fans of, but to get a live kind of performance from him, I think it just opened my eyes up to how good the podcast can be and how great all of these people are. Because I genuinely haven't spoken to any knobheads or any horrible people or anyone. You get the odd people that just don't reply, and I'm not bothered by that. But no one's ever come back and gone, "Well, who's the Rugged Revival? Bugger off. We're not interested," sort of thing. It's been either they don't reply, they're too busy, or yeah, the majority has been yes, and it's just agreeing a date, which is why we're so busy in January. With me just pinging things out and going, oh crap, we've got to try and fit the time in to do this now. But again, I think that there'll be some good artists that people will be interested in hearing from. Put it that way. So continuing that trend, we're not, reaching out to the likes of Morgan Whalen and like, because wouldn't anyway. But
Why not?
he's not. Yeah, yeah. Let's
Anyway,
move
moving
on.
on.
Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on. So it's people that is within our ethos and our kind of world, and sometimes not just independent guys, but people with established careers and doing really well and really well known. And yeah, there's a guy I'm trying to kind of set up in a minute. So I'm not going to say the name because it's not agreed yet, but it's kind of in the pipeline, and I think that'd be an amazing guest to get on. And again, just kind of kicks off the year nicely for the Rugged Revival podcast, and start as we
It's all
mean to go on.
mysterious.
It is. I don't think you even know about that one.
No, I don't. I don't know about anything.
I probably told you, but you don't listen to me anyway. So
Of course, I listen to you.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, but no, it'll be. I know that the calendar is full for that. We've had to move some things around to accommodate that. But what a great thing, having people reaching out to you, reaching out to us, saying we want to come on. I definitely want to get a few more sort of traditional artists on if I can. I'm going to be reaching out again, trying to get people to answer my messages because of very little followers, because I think I'm a troll or whatever. So, well, I mean, I look like a troll, but there we go. So,
Yes.
just trying to reach out to them to get that vibe going. And again, if we're doing these sort of live broadcasts, or if we're attending, I know we've got a couple of sets that we're attending next year, which I'm really, really excited about, and that's all around the UK. Manchester, Birmingham, London. We're doing a complete mix of where we're going. We've bought the tickets. We're ready to go. We'll be wearing the Rugged Revival attire. Actually, I've got a bone to pick with you.
Mm.
So you've sent me one T-shirt. So I had to go and buy my own T-shirts for the new logo on it. I kind of like the old logo, but new logo. So it won't be me just wearing the same T-shirt every time I come on, and I've had to purchase some hats. But anyway, so I'll be wearing that when we go out and about, all over the UK. Let's try and get to Ireland. I'm hoping that there's going to be some sets in Ireland we can go to. I am going to reach out to some of the Irish country music artists because I think they're fabulous. There's so many of them coming out at the moment that are really hitting the roof, and they're getting so popular. One of them, I'm hoping I've reached out to him already. He's a solo artist, quite a young fella, but I've been listening to his music for the last year or so. Incredible artist, but we'll reach out to him. We'll keep pushing to try and get them on. Even going over to Ireland with your fancy camera, and
Oh,
maybe it will give me an excuse to get a drone as well. I don't know why I
I've
need one,
never
but
been
I
to
just need
Ireland
one.
before.
You've
Yeah.
got to come with me. Come to me
I've been to
with
Northern Ireland, but I've never been to Southern Ireland. I
Southern
hear it's a
Ireland.
beautiful place.
Incredible, amazing people, beautiful place, beautiful people, just a good laugh, relaxed, chilled out, and there is so many people that would bite off your right arm for offering their venue, for us to do that. So let's venture into Ireland as well. I'm sure we've got some Irish listeners somewhere. I think actually Steel Saddle, they were saying that they would they would die to be Irish. So let's get them involved. We can do live streams, we can do all that sort of stuff next year. But it's stuff to be looking forward to, and I'm so excited about travelling half the UK in our spare time. Very little spare time it is, but spare time, travel around the UK and interview the artists, face to face. It'll be another notch, so it'll be good.
It is, yeah. I mean, who are we seeing? Just to recap, we got Colby Helms in Birmingham in Feb, I think that is. Sturgill Simpson in, I can't remember when that is, June, July, maybe, in London. I know where it is. So I'll reach out to Sturgill, see if he's got some time to talk to us, and expect the usual kind of silence. But I think he's quite big, to be fair. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. We don't often get to do live gigs because of the day jobs and family and everything else. So yeah, I think we need to make more of an effort for that, and that's what we're doing. It's not cheap either. Yeah.
No, it's not cheap, but listen, we'll try and do whatever we can to get out there to go and do what we've got to do, and to introduce ourselves. Making the effort to introduce ourselves face to face to all the artists. We'll probably be bundled away by security. Who are you with your weird hats and your strange attire? But if you are doing a gig or if you are doing an event, or again, there's event organisers that listen to us, or listen to you, all the time on the Rugged Revival. If you are hosting an event or you want us to come down, then please just give us a shout. Let us know where it is. We're more than happy to travel, go wherever we need to go, just to experience it and get to put our name out to more followers and get to introduce ourselves face to face.
Yeah,
So you can
collaborate
see the
more. Yeah.
horrors one to one. But yeah,
Yeah, exactly. When it's live, we can't edit ourselves and make ourselves look good. So what you see is what you get. But, whatever. I'm looking forward to it, definitely. So
yeah,
yeah, bring on 2025, man. But let's enjoy Christmas first. I think we all need a break. It's been a
yeah.
long year. It's been tough kind of work and everything else going on. Lots of sick, ill, disgusting people like you. So I think, yeah, I'm looking forward just to having a week off work personally. So happy days.
Absolutely right. Well, that's it. That's all my questions. That is all my questions. I mean, wrapping up from the year going forward, wrapping up to everything that we're doing now. I'm sure we'll be able to fit in, or maybe even do like a practice session on TikTok Live. Ooh.
Mm, yeah.
Um, why not? Let's give it a try. Let's see what we need to do. Um, But listen, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you. Not for you, but working with you. Um, Long may that continue. I'm so excited about 2025 and doing what we do. So I'm going to let you sign off because I've done that the last two times I've been on. So I'm going to let you sign off.
I made this kind of thing at the end, and I'm trying to remember
There
what it
we
is
go.
now.
Or we will raise a toast,
We
just
will
as a
raise a
reminder.
toast to the grit, the grind, and to the revival. Cheers, everyone, for listening.
Cheers. Merry
See you soon,
Christmas and
and
have a
Merry Christmas.
happy New Year. Take care.